Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Adventures of Supergirl issue 4, or chapter 4. So let's start talking about this issue. This is actually a new arc for the Adventures of Supergirl. Last arc I feel like was very much an introduction of Alex and Kara's relationship, and now we're getting to see the other side of Kara's life, which is the Catco side. And this story is actually more focused on Winn. And also with a new arc, we have a new change of artist. So let's start talking about the artwork first. Of course, I read this digitally, so I do not have the art in front of me. But the artwork is a bit more, I would say, very animate style artwork, and a little exaggerated. Like some of the hair is like all over the place, but that's kind of the style of artwork it's going for, which was an interesting change from, again, I feel like a more cartoonish approach in the first arc, which I kind of enjoyed more, but still respect this style of artwork. I will say there's points when you zoom out and there could have been a bit more detail on the face. Also, I had a little nitpick with James Olsen. I thought he looked really skinny, and usually he's a little bit of a buffier guy in the show. But I definitely could grow to like this artwork, and I like the artwork the most when the hair is kind of not flowing in the wind and she's Supergirl. I think that's where the art was at its best. But what happened in this story, like I said, this is very much more of a Catco story, and seeing that Kara's kind of worst fears come true, or almost come true, when all these police officers come to Catco, and she's like, oh my god, is this about me? And then she realizes it's about Winn, and it has to do with this computer program, and there's a big cliffhanger of you know, maybe a known villain that's behind all this. So for me, you know, I'm not a huge computer, or a fan of the computer villain type characters, so I feel a little less attached for this story, but at the same time I think it can tell an interesting story to expand more on characters like Winn and James, who weren't showcased in the first arc, and seeing how Kara cares about those characters, so that's something I did enjoy. And then of course I enjoyed the inner monologue of Kara, because as you guys know, that's definitely my favorite part of this book, is that inner monologue. It's something we can't really get in the television show. I like that in the beginning of the issue, she talks about her worst fears. I definitely enjoyed that. So the narration was definitely on par here. I like some of the kind of New York references, even though they're not from New York, but they kind of, you know, make New York references, like mentioning the cast of Hamilton and things like that. Like in the pilot when they mentioned Wicked. So a lot of like Broadway references, which I thought fit here. And it was really nice to see Cat Grant, because she's a very big part of the show, obviously, and it is cool to see them write out Kira. Because Kara's like, yeah, and then she called me Kira, and I'm like, that's awesome, because that's such a running joke in the show. So once again, very much in vein of the show, or in the vein of the show, which is very important with a tie-in book like this. But at the same time, I feel with a tie-in book like this, it's hard to tell what timeline this is telling. It feels like missing episodes of Supergirl, and I'm cool with that. But you know, especially because we had so much story with Winn and his background, you don't really get to touch that upon here, because you can't really spoil things for people, so I kind of wish they could explore those type of ideas with an arc like this. Maybe they will touch upon it, but they didn't really touch upon it here in this issue. But overall, I will say I wasn't as attached to this story, but still very interested, and still had a lot of fun with this issue. So overall, I'll give Adventures of Supergirl issue 4 3.5 stars. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Of course, when issue 5 comes out in the next 2 weeks, I'll definitely be reviewing that. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, in the description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later.